gotta give in now. I think I gotta live this now. I be gonna be man, I'ma kill this stuff real quick. I'ma go figure the town, cause I gotta be that king in the ring when I'm knocking them out when I'm back with the break. Cause I am just up on the journey, you just know that I'm just going insane.
Warriors, rise. Grand rising. Good evening, warriors all over the world. Excited to be with you guys on this May 14th, 2024. Remember, this is the last May 14th, 2024 you're ever going to have. So let's make it an absolutely great day. Very excited to be back on with Johnny Crypto with a K, the CEO of Merlin, where we're going to dive into the importance of an exit plan. I think it's very, very important that we meet monthly. So we bring this information to you guys because we're coming from experience going through the bull run from 2020 to 2022, which we pulled profits, but I truly wish I would have pulled more profits. So we'll share our personal stories and how we saw thousands of people within the ecosystems get wrecked because the greed gene. We're going to talk about Merlin, the smartest way to track your crypto. Also want to talk to you and chat about the recap of XRP Las Vegas, which was an absolutely amazing event, the Freedom Conference, just so many great things going on. But first of all, Johnny K, how are you doing, brother?
Well, Coach, I am doing great. Thank you so much for having me today. Good afternoon to all the Warrior Maniacs out there and everybody else. I'm always happy to be here, Coach. I love talking to you, spending time with you, and appreciate you having me here. And I can't wait to kind of fill everybody in. But yeah, I'm doing good. You know, it's warm. Weather's getting warmer out here on the East Coast, so I'm getting excited, Coach.
Yes, Lake House soon, man. Lake House. I'm excited about that. I got the dates for you, so I'll get that to you soon.
Nice.
Awesome. Well, let's talk about, we've had a lot of evolution. First, a lot of people, there's a lot of new listeners out there and kind of like the evolution of how we started and all that stuff. I think it's important to tell that story. It's like, man, we were talking about it. It's fun to get together, like for our Freedom Conference and XRP Las Vegas, to really talk about how the evolution of this had, because sometimes you forget, right? We got all these companies now, we're building together, and it's been 4 years since 2020. 4 years. Yeah, 4 years. And it's gone by super fast. And that's why every time I come on, people are like, why do you do the date every time? Because I like to timestamp things because time is moving so fast, man. And I really believe, this is my belief, going to the spiritual part of it, that our souls are moving through experiences versus moving through time. And because we're coming together as one consciousness to create these products and services that help humanity, we're moving through time so fast, right? We have these new deadlines and new creation. Instead of just repeating the same process over and over again, getting up, going to work, following these repetitive processes that they want us to follow, keeps us in this time-based reality, that every time I wake up, it's like another year. It's like, holy cow, man. So I think, but time is really, really important right now. So we had the Bitcoin halving, which was non-eventful. We figured that was going to happen. It was baked in, right? Well, let's back up a little bit. So we had the interest rates, right? They told us they're going to lower interest rates 3 times. They haven't lowered them once yet, which is, to me, that's a good thing. To me, that's a good thing because I feel in my heart, I know there's half saying that they're not going to lower them, and then another half says that they are. And because of the presidential election, I think because of all the bad press that they're getting right now, they're going to lower interest rates, I believe, 1 time in September. And if they do, it goes into our narrative right now of exit plans. You have to be ready, guys. But I want to tell a little bit about the story, like the creation of Merlin, because there is a lot of new people watching. I'll never forget the moment. So I'll let you tell the story. I mean, we started out like, I remember.
I like when you tell it. You tell it.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. So it started out as I think Selman introduced me to CryptoCito. I think it was CryptoCito. Yes. He's blown it up in the Cosmo ecosystem. He's absolutely amazing human being. So I was interviewing him. And, in being transparent, I was pretty new to crypto per se. I got introduced to XRP, and that's how our channel exploded, XRP, and talking about the quantum financial system and conspiracies and things like that, and where we thought the financial system going, which is really cool. Brenda's actually pulling our videos from 2020. And like 90% of the stuff came true, man, which is freaking awesome. So all the haters out there, we're going to be bringing out some videos and showing you guys how accurate the predictions were. But I'll share with you guys, we're not clairvoyant. It's very easy to study history, spiritually, mentally, and financially to predict the future. So that's how we started. And then I was on I was in a vertical strategy. When I was in corporate America, I went to school. I got a job at a 401k. Then I was inside of a business, trading time for money. Still, I bought another job, and then I had crypto. I'm like, crypto's my savior. And then I met Wise Counsel. Two things that happened. One person was like, crypto's your retirement. I said, oh yeah, when XRP goes. He's like, no, man. He's like, that's an investment. A retirement is something you can rely on, right? And he's like, a 401k, that's hope, dude. That's a strategy, like hope. You're hoping that the market's going to be favorable when you retire. Crypto, you're hoping that it's going to be favorable. He's like, so you got to diversify outside of crypto. So that was one first lesson I learned, in which we've changed our diversification huge since 2020. We're, businesses, precious metals, real estate, insurance, businesses. And then Crypto Cito was like, hey, we're talking about exit plans. I'm like, exit plan? I'm thinking I'm holding forever, man. He's like, well, when it goes up, why wouldn't you exit the markets? That doesn't make any sense. And then I don't remember how it all evolved from that. And then I talked to you guys about it, and then we created a spreadsheet, an actual spreadsheet. And we used to carry, go ahead.
Yeah, I could take it from this. So
Yeah.
when Crypto Cito told you, like, coach, you need to have an exit plan, you started realizing, like, oh shit, yeah, we need to have an exit plan.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the time, I had a spreadsheet, and another warrior, Dave, had a spreadsheet.
Yes,
And you had asked me to join the research team, so I was part of your team now. I was in the academy as part of your team now, and I was telling you, working on a spreadsheet. Like, hey, Dave, hey, John, can you work with Dave? You guys kind of have spreadsheets going, and can you get? So we built an exit strategy sheet or a spreadsheet, and that's how we did it. And then Dave's like, he handed off kind of what he did, and I took it over and built it more and more and more, and made it more functional.
Yeah.
And then one point I brought Mario at the time wasn't on the academy, but was in the academy.
That's right. Yeah.
He was, he's like, hey, Johnny, if you need any help, I'd be happy to help you. And I didn't know Mario from a hole in the wall at the time. Yeah. He's offering help. I needed. I was like, come on board. He comes on board, and we build it. We made it even more functional. But the one thing we couldn't do, coach, we couldn't automate it. We tried. Yeah. Mario tried to help me automate it. We couldn't do it because all these services kept crashing, and you just can't. And I'm like, you know what? We need to create an app. Mm-hmm. And there it was. That was the moment when the idea went off. But now remember, an idea, everybody has ideas.
Yep.
The key is, do you have the persistence and the wherewithal, not you personally, but you generally,
100%,
to take that idea and grab that flagpole and run up and down the hills? Because
up and down the hills is it, right? I mean, I love to talk about the origin stories, because it's all about, because it reminds you of how far we have come and how far all of you have come in cryptocurrency. Like, just not only in business, but there's bear markets in business, there's bull markets in business. And like, so we planted that flag. I remember you came walking into, and back then we just had the one facility. We were doing the YouTube inside of the gym, and people were walking by in the background and stuff like that. We had no YouTube studio. And then you walked in and you were like, I have an idea. And I think we walked around the thing and we're like, yes, it was like an aha. And then here we are, man, 4 years later, about 3.5 years later, at the inception of Merlin, which is the smartest way, it's trademarked, the smartest way to track your crypto. And it truly, truly is. And it's a revolutionary app that is going to transform people's lives. I can already hear the words in the future. Like, thank God Merlin was there to protect my portfolio, to help me exit the markets. And so I personally use Merlin. And here's why, because from 2020 to 2022, and I want to explain that we repeat stories over. And here's why I want to share something with people. I do this even with the risk of not gaining new followers. People like, he says the same shit over and over again. There's strategy behind that. There is strategy behind that. Whatever you repeatedly do gets ingrained in your subconscious mind. Whatever gets ingrained in your subconscious mind becomes an unconscious activity. That's how they indoctrinated us. That's how they indoctrinated our children. They repeat the same shit over and over again. And what happens is, we're following this wave of cycle, and they're doing the opposite of what we're doing. Yeah. So what I have to do is repeat over and over again. I was like, okay, so from 2020 to 2022, I made more money in crypto and all these things happening than I would have made as an executive. It's like for my retirement, I'm like, that's crazy, right? I mean, just the shooting up, if I would have just went steady in my 401k and followed the corporate ladder and all that stuff. I mean, who knows where I would have went with corporate, maybe a little bit more, but I was like, this is unrealistic, man. Now I wish I would have pulled a lot more. I truly wish I would have pulled a lot more profits. But I'm glad that I had an exit plan, because I was able to pull profits. I was invest in more companies. I was able to, start my IUL whole system that I got. So when we went into 2022, I think we all got humbled, man. I think everybody did. It was like, if you had never been through a collapse like that, some people were used to it. They've been in since 2017, but it was like we woke up and it was down 85%. It was
bad, coach. It was bad. And if you remember at the time, and what you say is so true. I wish I had pulled more too. And I think because we had, at the time, we just had paper exit plans, right? Yep. We didn't have an app that was kind of sending us a reminder, telling us, which one of our targets were hit. And I think, I see it now and I hear it from so many people like, oh my God, Johnny, literally what you just said. They're like, thank God I got Merlin. I just got my alert and I went and I executed, right? And you're right, because it was on paper, it's not always, you don't know if your targets are being hit and you miss some of those targets. And so it's not right in your face. And the great thing about what we created here was the ability to bring all your coins into one place and then be able to, you said something earlier. What we're doing at Merlin is we are retraining the brain.
Yep.
Nobody understands, and you didn't either, right? That when you got into crypto, Coach, until you met Cryptocito, you didn't know how you were getting out, right?
Yeah. Yep.
You're not the only one.
Yep.
Everybody does that. I did it. None of us had an exit plan.
Yeah.
We're like, what the hell's an exit? Why do I want to exit? Like, no, you want to exit because if you study the charts, you will learn that no chart does this. It's a staircase. It's up and down. And there's so many opportunities to take loads of profit. And as you said, these markets pull back 80, 90%.
Yes.
And then you're sitting there in the bear market and you're shaking your head going, holy crap, I left all that money on the table. What was I thinking? And the reality is it's not your fault. The game is rigged against us, Coach. It's designed to work off of the dopamine effect in our brains. When price goes up, we have a significant dopamine effect that gets us all excited and hyped up. The last thing you're thinking when that dopamine is going off, you're excited, is selling. You're thinking about the Lambo you're going to go buy, right?
Yes.
Right? You're not thinking, oh my God, I need to take some profits because this is going to go the opposite way.
Yes.
But elites know that because they've studied our brain. They know how it works. And then they have the game rigged to take it. And that's what Merlin does. It says, okay, game's rigged against you, but now we're going to help remove that emotional play that they're using against us, take the emotion out of the game, and now you have a chance to win again.
Yeah, and that's the key. You said something really, really important. It's like what we're working to train people in the academy is you have to understand that currency needs to move all the time. So, for example, if you pull profits, I know we want to buy the nice. It's almost like there's this moment. All of you guys have been holding for such a long time, and you've been so patient, and family members have made fun of you about crypto, blah blah blah, and they still don't believe, even though BlackRock's in there and the asset managers are getting involved, Grayscale, all this stuff happening. They still don't believe you, right? But there's almost this part of us that wants to prove to them, right? Pull up in the Lambo on Christmas, but it's like that Lambo is costing you so. What we've taught people to do is, so when I pull profits personally, I'm speaking from my paradigm, it's always going into some sort of asset that I can borrow against tax-free, or it's going to be going into some sort of real estate that's going to give me cash generating assets. I will buy the things that I want with other people's money, OPM. And so number one is always exiting. So you should have an exit plan in everything but your relationships and with God. That's what I always say. My relationships in God, I don't have an exit plan. Everything else, I have an exit plan, right? So my cryptocurrency, businesses, there's always like, if you ever meet with somebody and they're like, oh, we're short-term money, like, and we'll talk about the ups and downs of business as well, because we're entrepreneurs and we're building together. Because with the crypto market, with the stock market, entrepreneurship has a bear market as well. There's bear markets, there's bull markets. And if you don't have an exit plan, if you don't have a solid plan or a solid team in place, it can be very, very disheartening, right? So as we went into the bear market, we saw, we had the nodes, and I had a Ethereum miner, like then they switched to proof of stake and they did all that. Yeah. It was like there was money coming in from everywhere. And I'm like, okay, well, what that taught me is multiple sources of income, right? So as we get this large amount of income from crypto, we number one want to be able to exit properly. You want to pay Uncle Sam your taxes, do your thing. I wouldn't mess around with that stuff. I would not pay your taxes, guys. You're going to get caught up. I'm telling you. I've just been warning people, like, oh, there's a way I can avoid them. If you're pulling money out of crypto and you're on a large exchange and they're gonna submit the
Coach Al Capone went to jail, killed millions of people. You know what he went to jail for?
Tax evasion.
Pay your taxes.
They'll get you 100% of the time. And it's almost like Alex Hormozy said it the best. He's like, everybody's trying to escape the matrix and go to places you pay less taxes. And all the energy you're using to escape the matrix, he's like, make more money, man. He's like, just make more money. I always say that's the problem to all the, not God and Jesus, but what I mean, we always say, make Momo, man, make more money. Just make more money, man. It's like, and that's the whole thing about entrepreneurship. This guy I met in Dubai, who was a very, very wealthy man. And I asked him, I said, what's the secret to wealth? He said, your intentions, number one. He said, number two is solve a massive problem for humanity and you'll be the wealthiest man or woman in the world. He said, it's that simple. You want to make money, sell back scratchers on Amazon. You want to be wealthy, solve a problem for humanity. And he owns, like, in every computer we have, there's some chip that has to be in the computer that he owns. He's like, I solved a problem that everybody needs. Every computer company needs my chip. And he's a billionaire, right? And so I'm like, wow. And so everything we create, our businesses, and what's cool about what I love working with you guys, everything we talk about is stuff we own, the ecosystems. We don't get paid by crypto companies. We don't get, sponsors or anything like that. Everything we do is from our own creation. So going back to entrepreneurship. So how's the journey been, man? Like, let's be honest about the journey. It's been, 36,000 lines of code. Merlin was created from the ground up. I've been asked, I can count on multiple times, man. Hey, is this white labeled? You guys just white labeled something. No, this isn't white labeled. This is from the ground up. So talk a little bit about the evolution of Merlin, how it's been.
Yeah, something like this isn't, something that you just borrow. I mean, anybody can do that. And when you white label or you get something that's existing and you copy it or you try to build onto it, you don't get the real functionality you need.
Yep.
Merlin's right from the ground up, our own team, our own software engineers and designers here. We built it from scratch. We built it talking to consumers, understanding exactly what you said earlier, what their unmet needs are. That's what I specialized in my current career actually, is understanding unmet needs of people. And then literally what you said, solving that. And that's what we did with Merlin, right? We said, what are the unmet needs? We talked to consumers. There are already coin trackers out there, but they don't do to the level that what we do. We not only do we bring everything together, we give you all the editing tools to be able to make sure your portfolio is accurate. And then we built on the exit strategy tool. And we got so much, our roadmap, Coach, if I showed you our roadmap, we could do another whole hour on the roadmap, but I can't show that publicly because it's private. Show our competitors what we're doing. But we have a whole roadmap that's the next 2 years of innovations that are going to blow some of our customers' minds when we see what we're going to be doing, what Merlin will be able to do for them as we move forward. So I'm excited about our roadmap. But the point being is, yes, we built it from the ground up, 36,000 lines of code to be able to make it multifunctional and be able to solve. And so everybody can have everything right at their fingertips. And we know it's working. We know it's solving the problem because people used to look at their phone on average 20 times a day during a bull run. Right now, people are looking at their phones. If you're using Merlin, they're telling me you're looking at their phone once a day or twice a day. So we set out to give people the most important thing back in their life. Time.
Yep.
Nobody has a lot of time. Everybody complains they don't have enough time in their life, right? Time is precious. Other than health. Health is wealth. Time is precious. So now that you're not looking at your phone 20 times a day and you're not nervous trying to figure out what's going on, it's so cool. You got that time back to do something more useful with it.
Yep.
And you know that Merlin's got your back. You know that if it's time to sell, you're going to get a notification saying, hey, it's time to sell. In fact, we built it so you get a pre-notification. So you don't even have to wait for that. So if you're sitting out there and you're watching this show right now and you're sitting there like, man, I don't know what my portfolio is doing. Or what's going up? What's going on? Well, guess what? You are me. Because that's what I was. When I was looking at this 4 years ago, I'm sitting there going, what the hell's my portfolio? And the market was pumping, Coach. And I'm looking at my spreadsheet and I'm putting in the numbers and I'm putting in this price and that price. I'm trying to figure out what my account is worth. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. And so don't have to do that no more. Now there's a solution for you. If you click on the link, I don't know if the link is below, Coach.
Down below.
Click on the link below, guys. We're going to give 30 days free to everybody. You get to use them. Yes, you have to put a credit card in just like anything else. But here's the good news. We've designed it. Because I hate when you have to pick up the phone and call and cancel. You don't have to do that. Right in the app, within the 30 days, if you decide you don't want it, hit the cancel button. And at the end of the 30 days, it won't charge your card. You're done. And you got to try it risk-free. But what we want to do, Coach, is help people able to get their time back and be able to take some profits out of the market and give them peace of mind. And we've done all of that with Merlin, building it from the ground up. Because when you build from the ground up, Coach, you could put in any of the pieces and tools you want. Whereas if you take something already pre-built, it's hard to add on. You could add things on, but it isn't going to look right if the foundation isn't correct.
Right. That's the key. That's the key. And that's the part of entrepreneurship when you go the hard road and build it yourself, and the sleepless nights and the constant up and down and what was that? There was one thing that happened where you got everything. And there was one line of code that was messed. You guys had to recreate everything, right? At one point, right?
Yeah. When you talk about being an entrepreneur, you got to have a stomach of steel. Let me We were just about ready to launch this thing. I think it was last year. And And James, our CTO, he did a lot of the code development. We go to launch, we're about ready to launch, and we get through and we realize, holy crap, we have a major, major issue that if we had launched, Merlin wouldn't have worked. It would have been a disaster. So at the last minute, we had to make a tough decision, to not launch. And we said, let's do the right thing. Let's not launch. Let's take the extra 3 months and rewrite the code again and do it right. And that's really, it's the wherewithal, it's the persistence, and it's the mentality. When you're an entrepreneur, you have to realize there's no quitting. You have to realize nothing's going to go right. And you have to realize Murphy's Law will always kick in. Murphy's Law, what can go wrong will go wrong. Always happens. And when you understand that, and I've been in innovation so long now, 27 years, I don't expect anything to work right on the first time, coach. I expect it to go wrong. So it's a little different. I'm seasoned. But if you're not a seasoned entrepreneur, what's going to happen is a lot of entrepreneurs think it's easy. Then they get started like, holy shit, this is hard. Then they fall on the cliff like, that's it, I'm done. And that's the key. You can't quit. You just have to know it isn't going to be easy. If it was easy, coach, everybody'd be a billionaire, right?
Yeah. I need somebody this will answer this question. Somebody said something powerful too. Says your mind is the matrix. That's why it's important to go within and see the output and outcome, which is so true. And then there's the density of reality, right? So the 0 becomes 1, the 1 becomes 2. So the further the numbers go out, the more dense it becomes. And so when you think of an idea, that's the creation, it's the excitement, right? Then you get into inception, the creation of it. Then it starts to get more dense and more dense and more dense. Then you get to the launch, and it's almost like a birthing of a child. That's the excitement. Then it launches, and then it goes back into density again. And there's waves of energy, and there's excitement. And then you have your first 1,000 customers, like we do, and then now it's growing to 2,000, and it's like, and then you hit new milestones, and that's what's the beauty in creation, and that's what I believe is happening within America. As you sent me a quote this morning, it's like they have Americans trading so much time for money, they have not enough time to pay attention, and they're out of their creative state of mind. So they're in this repetitive cycle, and they think that cryptocurrency is going to be their savior. It can be their savior if we take the profits and we start to use that money to free up that time. That's the key.
Yes.
It's a wave of energy. So that's why Merlin was created, for you to exit, to be able to take this money. Maybe you're going back into crypto. That's fine. But we need to figure out, we have to all educate ourselves. Think and Grow Rich. That's a frequency. The key word is think, right? 1939, they couldn't say it was frequency, but it's 13 principles that define frequency. Intelligent Investor. So that's a book where Warren Buffett went from investing in stocks to companies, which is very important, right? Intelligent Investor, Richest Man in Babylon. Everybody should master that book.
Boom.
You have to, right?
That's
It's
the
like,
one.
yep. And so let's talk about this. So Bitcoin, so that's a question we get a lot. So everybody was like, with the Bitcoin halving, it was not eventful. It's baked in. The pricing was baked in. Bitcoin halving, I believe it's about 7 months after the Bitcoin halving, right? It should be September, October.
Correct. 6
right?
to 7 months typically.
Yeah. So we'll see an upswing. I remember, I think it was 2020 October or 2021. I can't remember which. Was it 2020 when it started going up in October, November?
21. Well, there was a pre-one in 2020. Yep. Yeah.
I just remember it was like October, and I was traveling. I'd never seen a parabolic move like that. I'm like, am I making like thousands a day? It was crazy. It was like thousands a day. It was like, what the hell is going on? And I remember that feeling, and I want to tell people out there, it was like, I felt like it was just going to keep going, and it was going to keep going. Then it hit again in 2021, going into 2022. And it was just like, and then I remember the feeling of waking up, and it was just, I was like, where did all my money go? I'm like, holy shit. And thank God I had pulled some profits, and I started my wealth building process. But this time, this could really transform your guys' lives, man. But we also need to understand, you have to look at, so we'll go deeper into Merlin. But I want people to understand, like, we have to understand, like, inflation is sticky right now, guys. It's been a 19% cumulative inflation since 2020. Everybody's gotten a $19,000 pay cut, just in simple terms, right? Since if you made $100,000 in 2020, you now make $91,000. That's crazy, right? So this is an opportunity for us to take that money and kind of almost beat inflation somehow. But we need to get into things that are going to create income. So that's the thing. The middle class needs to make 150 to 160K a year now to be middle class.
Just to be middle class.
Just to be middle class. So we really have to step up our game, family. And that's what we hope to share with people, is our skills that we've learned by making mistakes, so you don't have to make those same mistakes. So as we go through this process, so Bitcoin will go up on the back end of this year. And that's why this next 7 months is so critical. Everybody's like, am I too late? You're right on time, guys. Everybody's right on time. Everybody's going to be too late when it's peaking, because that's when everybody's going to come in. It's going to be at the top.
Bingo.
You're going to be at the barber shop. People are going to be like, oh, you got to get into Bitcoin. Bitcoin will be 188,000. You're going to come rushing in and
Get
then whap. Yeah. So what do they say? Buy the rumor, sell the news, right? It's like
when your barber and the clerk, who's packing your bags at the grocery store is talking about Bitcoin, get the hell out. That's what it's. We had Gary Cardone on the Good Morning Crypto show today. You know what he was saying? He goes, Johnny, I'm buying right now, 60,000. I love to buy. He's buying Bitcoin now. He's like, I don't want to be buying at 120 or 180. No, I want to be buying right now because this is a great time, as you just said, to buy.
Yep. I'm just to be transparent, I'll share with you guys exactly what I'm doing. So I'll be honest. I'm always brutally honest. Like I had this Bitcoin narrative for a long time up until last year when BlackRock, because this thing where the bricks were created the exact same times Bitcoin was created, and then I got stuck in my head all these rumors of it's going to go to zero, and if you knew who created it, blah blah blah, and then I was like kind of like tribal into just ISO token, just being transparent. And as I've matured as an investor, I just have detached myself from all tribalism. Like we talk about XRP a lot. I believe in XRP, I believe in Ripple, but I'm not tribal to any cryptocurrency. Like if people understood our diversification strategy, I'm not tribal in anything. I don't trust any of the system, to be honest with you. Anything within the fiat system. That's why Jesus says, give your taxes to Caesar, give to God what is his, give to Jesus what is mine. It's like the system is a system. It's always been that way. Caesar's always collected his taxes, man.
Correct.
But if you understand where Caesar runs that money through, then you can start to play the game, right? And so I started getting into Bitcoin July last year. And so my dollar cost average is 40,000, but every minute I can, I'm buying more. I am buying more. Like I just really feel that Bitcoin could be a legacy thing for my family, where I'm going to hold that long term. Now, that strategy might be a little bit different than the rest of my exit strategy, which is in long-term capital gains. That's another thing people want to look at is long-term, short-term. So my Bitcoin will be in short-term right now, which is a much higher tax implication. Also, my crypto's in long-term. So for the only one that'll kind of have its own moving target would be Bitcoin, because I'll have to look at the risk weighting. Like, is it worth me pulling and paying that much in taxes, right? So those are things that you guys want to start to think about with what is your tax bracket, your jurisdiction, how much taxes you're going to pay, how much income do you make? Go ahead.
I'm glad you said that, because Coach, in Merlin, we've actually designed, when you build your exit strategy, we show you what your total profit and gains would be when you hit your targets, and we also show you what your tax liability is.
Yes, I love that.
So you actually get to see it. And if maybe I'll see if I can pull a demo up here in a second.
Yes.
Where you can actually see. Let me see here if I can share my screen, and we'll give you kind of what you were just talking about. I think it's very important that people need to know that so here's Merlin, guys, and this kind of brings all your coins into one place. You can see your total value. You see your daily gain here, which is what I crucially wanted to know when the markets are pumping. I could see here all my coins, and this is a demo account, guys, so don't go hacking mine or Coach's account. This is not real money. But basically, you can see here, Coach, at the end of the day, what your highest gains and losers are for the day. Today's a red day, so we're down. But what's really cool is if you look any one of these where we have an exit plan, let's just click on any one of these. You'll see here that here's where the exit plan is already built, and it will show them what they've chosen. Here is a 60-40 plan. Merlin knows your total coins, so it knows what you got to sell, and then it tells you how many coins to sell at each price target. And then check this out. Here you get to see your profit, your total proceeds. In green are your profits. So here's your total profit. That's 32,000. And then this here is the most probably important part. You got to set $8,000 aside of that profit for taxes, because Uncle Sam is going to come. And what's cool is if you know that, now you can develop strategies for that money before you give it to Uncle Sam. One of my favorite ones is what you said.
IUL.
I put it in my IUL, earn interest on it, and when it's time to take it to Uncle Sam, I borrow it back out. And I'm earning interest on money I don't have in there. The IUL is the best thing since sliced bread. And people just, these tools are out there.
Yes. Yeah.
You just have to find them, but they're out there for the rich. The super rich know about all these things. And we're trying to educate folks on it. And thankful to you and your team for bringing IULs to everybody's attention, man. It's the best thing since sliced bread. Let me tell you.
Thank you. Yeah, there's so many different opinions on it, but I think what I learned is the most skeptical, this is going to sound rude, but the most skeptical people are the most broke, and they're not using the products, right? It's just a fact. I've learned that. We've met with hundreds of thousands of people, man, over the past 4 years, man, that we've had over 8,000. And it's the most skeptical person is the one that's not taking any risk. Number one. Number two is they don't usually use any of the products. They're just going on the internet and surfing around and not diving. So that's why we got licensed. We're deep into the understanding of the fees, the structures. The important part of any insurance-based product is, number one, the insurance agent's job is to structure it properly. The clients is to fund it properly. If they're not structured properly or funded properly, it's a piece of shit. Just being transparent, they don't work. And that's where the bad nomenclature comes from. So we're really getting cleaned up and understanding that part of the industry and how to fix that. But you brought up a powerful point, and this is why building wealth strategies is really important. Like, for example, we're learning about the Augusta rule, right? When you start to open up these paradigms, like the taxes are almost designed for you to put money into the system, right? They have rules like the Augusta rule, where when you start to build more wealth, you can actually, it behooves you to own a mansion, right? If you own a company. So when you have conferences, we have multiple companies where we can have, it could be Merlin, it could be 3T, it could be our insurance, all these different things. You can have people, a conference at your house or a meeting at your house, and you can actually pull money out of the business as tax-free. So this is why it's important to be around like-minded individuals, because when you start to learn the tax game, that's why you see wealthy people driving supercars. That's why you see them living in mansions. That's why you see them having house parties and meetings at their house. It's strategic. They're doing that because they're pulling tax-free money out of their business to pay for those mortgages, which is unbelievable. So what I started to do is, as I tapped into a new realm of entrepreneurship and wealth and all these different things with my trust attorney, I'm like, wow, maybe it's not rigged against us. It's rigged for us to put money into the economy. And so your first step is financial literacy. Now, what do I mean by that? Is you have to understand what money is. What is money? You got to understand that money is debt in America, right? You got to understand that we're in a fake fiat currency. So if we know that fiat is fake, right? You're taking fake funny money, you're putting it into internet money. So you have to move this fake money through the system to get into real tangible things. That's why wealthy people have insurance and real estate, a shitload of it, right? That's why they have precious metals. So they move their money through these funny money systems, and they use us as an exit liquidity, right? And so it's like they get us all excited about this. It's the next thing since sliced bread. Then they always end up with the big three: Autoboom.com boom, and they'll be the crypto boom. I guarantee you. I love saying this on recorded videos. It'll be Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ripple, XRP will be the top three, and everybody else will be surviving regulation. I mean, I think a lot will make it 100%, but people realize how well we saw it. $200 million battling the SEC. Think about what that would do to a company. Think about what that would do to one of our companies. Like, if you're done. Yeah. So I think that's really important for us to go deeper outside of cryptocurrency and understand how wealth moves through the system, because your exit is the first one. Okay. When you exit, it's like, okay, now I got this, say you get 100 grand, or you have 200 grand, 300 grand, you get a 300 grand hit, man, you can do a lot with 300 grand. You can get into Section 8, you can get into apartment complexes, which we're building our Warrior real estate funds for next year, where we're going to be getting into multifamily. But I think that what's important too is tribe and community, which is really, really important. So as we dive into Merlin, guys, you can actually download Merlin 30 days free. I want to be very clear. We are the co-founders and creator of Merlin. We're very proud of this ecosystem. It's something that we worked very, very hard on. Johnny and the team have spent so much time building this out. You can get 30 days for free down below in the description of this video. So you want to do a little demonstration of like setting up an exit plan?
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah. That'd be awesome. So what we do is, let's go back to the asset page, and we'll go pick one that doesn't have an exit strategy yet. So let's go see what we got here. We've done so many of them. Here we go. We'll pick this is perfect. So we don't have an exit strategy. So this is how it works, Coach. You come in, and you can see here, because we don't have an exit strategy, it's going to give us the option to create one. And here comes the exit strategy tool. And now you need two pieces of information to make an exit plan. One, you need to know how many coins you have, and two, you need to know your average price. Once you have, hey Jim, how you doing, buddy? Well, I know he's a Merlin guy. He's called plenty of times, another Merlin customer. So once you have your average price, now this is what I love about Merlin. This now gets you thinking. First question you have to ask yourself is, okay, what's going to be my exit strategy? How much do I want to sell in the short term, and what do I want to carry with me long term? Now, I've seen a lot of people in our chat room saying, why do I want to sell? Why don't I just hold my XRP and earn interest? You absolutely could certainly do that. Sure. And there may be certain coins like an XRP where people think, that we're going to be able to earn interest down the road. Okay, great. But there may be other coins where you can't. And
Mhm.
so if you think about your whole, I mean, some people, on average, most people have about 4 to 8 exchanges and over 20 to 30 coins, right? That's a lot of coins.
Mhm.
So you're going to want to exit on those, right? So for those that you decide, hey, I want to exit on some of these, you first say to yourself, what do you want to sell, right? So coach, what do you typically use for a sell strategy? Is it 60-40, 50-50? What are we doing?
For me, 50-50.
50, all right,
Yep.
let's do a 50-50
And
plan.
as you're explaining that too, I think it's important because I get that question all the time. Well, you talk about how great I'm like, why would you? I always have an exit plan for any asset, like especially something that goes up. You 10 times, 30 times, 40 times, 100 times your money. Where the hell are you going to do that in a market?
And let, and let me build on that.
Yeah.
So here's why people get confused, because they see that bump and they think, oh my God. What they don't realize is a perfect example is Amazon. And crypto will follow the same thing. Amazon went from $1 to 125. And then it came all the way back down to $1 within a 4-year period. Okay. Speculation phase. And then, coach, it stayed in that low range for about 10 years.
Wow.
It took 12 years. And I'll show you the chart later. 12 years to get back to 125. So when people say you're crazy, why would I want to sell? Well, that's why you want to sell, because it's going to go up. It's going to come back down. And do you want to wait 12 years to get another chance to sell again? I don't. Maybe some people are perfectly happy waiting, but I don't want to wait 12 years.
Think about what you just said too. Imagine if you got that big of a hit, right? Profit. You put that into something that's compound or making anywhere from 6 to 12%. You're going to double that money in 7 years. Then with that doubled money, then you buy back into the market before it booms again. Can you talk about the speculation phase? I love what you talk about with that.
Yeah, yeah.
And where we're at in crypto right now.
Yes, I'm going to do that. Do you want me to finish this demo real quick?
Yeah.
All right, so let's do the exit plan. So we come up with a 50-50 plan. All right, so we said we're going to sell 50, hold 50. Now what we have to pick is what our price targets are and what percentage of each price target. So I picked Gala here. So, I'll pick $1 for price one, $2 for price two, and $3 price two, just for example. And then at target number one, let's say we'll sell 25%. Maybe at target number two, we'll sell 50%, and target number three, 25. And basically, that is going to add up to 100% of our 50%. And now we're going to hit save, and we're going to close out of the screen. And there it is. Voila. Now we see our exit strategies created. We said we're going to do a 50-50 plan. It's that simple, guys. We have 110,000 coins. So Merlin knows we have to sell 50% of them. That's 55,000 coins. Now, how are we going to sell them? Look below. We told it 25% at target number one for $1. We said 50% at target number two, and we said 25% at target number three. So it's showing me exactly the amount of coins I have to sell, and it's showing me the proceeds I'm going to get and the profit. So I get to see both, right? And I can see that if all three of my targets hit, coach, on this trade alone, I'm going to end up selling it for 110,000. Of that, 109 is going to be profit, because I bought it for so low, and I'm going to owe Uncle Sam $24,000. And it's that simple. Now I know. Now my game plan is set. Now it's set. It's like set it and forget it. I don't have to worry, because when these targets are hit, coach, here's what's going to happen. The user is going to get an alert saying, hey, we're near $1. Get ready to sell. When it hits $1, it's going to say, hey, you're at $1. Go sell 13,750 coins. And then I go to my exchange and I go sell. Merlin doesn't sell for you. We're read only. We don't have your keys. We don't have your coins. So hey, there is the greatest host in the world. Yes. Happy Tuesday to you too, Abs. Basically, it's going to tell you everything you need to do, and none of your coins are at risk, because we don't hold your keys or your coins, coach. So that's why Merlin is 100% safe to use. Everybody asks me, number one question, Johnny, what happens if you get hacked? Worst case scenario, if I get hacked, somebody can see what we're seeing right now, coach. That's it. Can't buy, can't sell, can't move your coins, can't withdraw your coins. We have no access to your keys or your coins. So that's why Merlin is the safest tracker in the world, because we have no access. Read only. That's it. We just display your transaction data. That's it.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I love this comment. The taxes make me cringe. Yeah, me too. It's been a journey, man, over the past, I've talked openly with Johnny about this, like the tax implications that I've experienced over the past couple of years as we're continuing to increase our wealth. And it's like, but if you learn the tax game, there are ways to mitigate them, not to get rid of them, but to move through the system, like you can, use the depreciation on a company car, right? So, you know, and if you, entrepreneurship is really important, guys. Like, even if you want to buy into a company or something like that, entrepreneurship gives you a lot of tax benefits, a lot of tax benefits. So I just bought a car for my Freedom Asset Management group that'll give me a pretty chunky tax write-off, because you're able to write off 80% of the value, even though it has a loan on it, which is important, or you can lease a car through there. So if you have a business, you can consult your tax professional. But I don't have a personal car. They're all business cars, and they're ran through my businesses. There's so many things. Yeah, this is what I want to show you guys, or wanted Johnny to explain to you guys, the this speculation phase.
Yeah, so this, coach, is why you want to have an exit plan, because when you look at how technology works, the yellow coin, the yellow area here represents the speculation phase. There's two phases as we move from speculation to utility. When somebody has an idea, right? We're early on. That's in the beginning right here. You're in an idea. And then that idea gets out, released to the public, right? And the public gets to hear it. And they're like, oh, wow, this could be a great idea. Kind of like when we did Merlin, right? And we wanted to raise money for it. Well, as the idea comes out, the value of that idea goes up, because like, oh, wow, this could be a very profitable thing. The actual utility of that idea, the development of it, well, that's still in process. The utility, you know, or it's very, very low because not a lot of people are aware of it yet, or it hasn't been out in mass adoption. So as we're kind of developing, you get this point in time where while you're developing the technology, there's a phase where everybody's excited and everybody wants in and they're tripping over each other. And that's called the speculation phase. That's this area right here where the price is going to go up. But because there's no real world mass adoption utility, that price is unsustainable, coach. And what happens is the smart money knows this. The smart money says, hey, this thing's not ready, but there's a bunch of people who are willing, who love it, think it's going to be. We're going to use them as our exit liquidity, and we're going to get out, and we're going to let them hold the bags. And then what does it do? All the smart money gets out, so the price drops. All the dumb money's holding, and now you're stuck. And until you get into the S phase, we call this the S curve, where the utility starts to pick up, that's where then the ecosystem, the value goes back up again, because now it's profitable, it's making money, and you have a chance to get out. Now, this adoption gap from speculation to utility is typically, on average, coach, I'm not making this up, 12 years. 12 to 14 years, depending on technology. 12 to 14 years. So everybody's like, oh, yeah, you know, crypto is going to be full blown next year. No freaking way. Not a freaking, no chance at all that it's going to happen. Will we be in the process of utility along this line? Yes. Will we be up here, full blown utility? Absolutely not. This is, thank you, Evan. Try it out. Let us know what you think, buddy.
Please.
But you want to, this up here is what's full blown speculation. That's where we are today with the Amazons of the world and the Googles of the world. And that took, 15 to 20 years. So, there's another thing I want to, but coach, yeah. So in a nutshell, that is pretty much how people should be thinking about speculation to utility, and why an exit plan is so important. Because coach, if you don't exit here, and you decide to ride down this thing with your skis, the only time I want to see a slope like this is if I got a pair of skis, coach. I don't want to see I don't want to be on the back end of this slope. But if you unfortunately are, you're now stuck holding the bag probably 10 to 12 years before you get right back to the same price. And that, folks, is why you want to have an exit plan. Not saying to sell everything, but if you took coach's advice in this case and you sold 50%, at least that 50% that he sold, probably some here, some here, some here. You're not going to catch the top. No. Guys, if you're trying to catch the top,
good luck.
You're going to lose. Because that's why everybody comes down the bottom, because everybody thinks the top is up here. Everybody thinks it's not. The top, everybody thinks the top is up here, but the top is really here. But everybody, when you're going up, you're thinking the top is here, but it's not. So don't try to catch the top. Be happy selling here, here, and here. And then when we come down the backside, when we're down here, coach, do you know how happy you're going to be when you sold here, here, and here? If we're down here, you're going to be pretty happy, right?
Yo, it changed my life. I wish I would have pulled more, man. Because I thought that, everybody, what were the saying Bitcoin was going to go to 100,000, 125,000, or saying it dropped at 68, I think it was. It was like, so I always say it's like 30% below what the news is saying, right? So, you know, we have, based on the wise counsel within our community, and I always share with everybody, it's like, I love the Henry Ford story. It's one of my favorite stories. So Henry Ford is on trial because he was an auto dude, man. He was an engine guy, right? And they're like, how the hell can you be a CEO of a company? He said, at any point, I have a switchboard in front of me. I can summons an expert. And so what I'm an expert in is spirituality, macroeconomics, studying economic cycles, human cycles. That's what I'm really good at. Logical circuit, right? I can predict patterns. I don't know if it's my dyslexia, but I can predict patterns. And I surround myself with cryptocurrency experts. Our crypto team, the Good Morning Crypto Show, Gonzo does all my chart analysis, and Gonzo, and like I watch the Good Morning Crypto Show for my news. And it's like, then I'm like, okay, so making an informed decision is based on not emotion, it's based on reality, right? The reality is Wall Street wins 100% of the time, and they always will, guys. They always will. And now Wall Street is getting a piece of this. So that's where, that's why I'm glad you brought up the speculation phase, because I think people think that 2024 to 2026, all of a sudden crypto, it's going to be, I mean, there's a long run here, guys. And also too, coming from the banking sector and learning how to scale banks, it's a big transition these banks have to go through, man. I mean, it's massive. The ecosystem, the infrastructure from Web 2.0 to Web 3.0, industrial to technical, like the regional banks are hanging on by a thread, man. And that's why when I first got introduced to Ripple, first they brought up Ripple and then XRP, then Ripple. When I dove in, I was like, why aren't the banks using this, man? And I was like, huh. And I was like, because they have a cloud computing system, they can get them up and running in 2 weeks, man. And I'm like, aha, they probably are going to be using this, right? And David Schwartz said something that I thought was pretty powerful. And I want to talk a little bit after this, the XRP and the Freedom Conference. It was just so, I just want to give a shout out to, we had almost 1,200 people on here. We probably met a lot of you guys at XRP Las Vegas. But David Schwartz said something that was pretty cool. And it was going against maximalists. It was just like, listen, guys, XRP is part of the system. It's not the end all be all, right? It's just part of the system. And it just is, man. Like, Bitcoin is a store of value. I see it as gold. I'm investing silver for my bartability and gold is my Bitcoin. And if it goes to zero, then whatever, I made a bad decision. Right. And so, but I feel pretty comfortable with it. XRP is part of my payment rails, XRP, XLM. I trust XLM heavily as well. Got HBAR. I'm heavily into HBAR, QNT. And my point behind this is to not get super tribal about things. Now I talk about XRP quite a bit because it's something that I really understand. I understand banking. I understand liquidity. I understand Nostro Vostro. I sat there and improved $30 million wires going across the system. Being a vice president of bank, I had to approve these huge wires. Dude, if these things, like, imagine someone's buying a property in Europe and this thing didn't hit the deadline. The implications of that money not getting there fast enough with escrow and closing, it was a nightmare, man. And now with the bank, I can just snap my fingers and that money's in the bank account. It's like money's going to start to move really, really fast. That's why ISO came out first. People think they're connected. ISO is a messaging system. That's what it is, right? So ISO is the messaging that needs to move really fast. Supply chain is going to move really fast. And so money has to move really fast. And so I think what happened is America got, what Warren Buffett says, when the tide goes out, you see who has their no swim trunks on, right? Well, I think America, this happens often too when superpowers, like after World War II, we became a superpower. We got addicted to the power and we lost track of innovation, in my opinion. And I think that they were so addicted to the money and power, they forgot to innovate. And other countries like Japan that failed, they started to innovate. China started to innovate. And we got caught with our pants down, and they're like, let's sue Ripple, the most innovative, disruptive company in the ecosystem, to slow this down. And so I agree with your narrative because I think we have a lot of time. I feel that way, right? But I'm still operating like I don't. I'm accumulating like I don't. But I'm also not worried. I feel like I wish people just put a 5-year, 10-year horizon on. And that's something too, when you're doing business, if somebody's in business and they're like, oh, it's all about making money today. Merlin, there's a 5-year, 10-year plan. Like, you have to think futuristically. And so that's business advice. So if you're sitting down with somebody that's presenting a business to you and all they're talking about is a short term, don't do it. There has to be a long term. If they're not talking 5-year, 10-year exit plans, what's the future look like? Then you don't want to go into business with that person, because they don't understand how. You say it's going to go to $1 million in the first month, it's going to go to 300,000. You throw out these huge markers, your brain wants that, but the density you haven't gone through the density to create that yet. And so anyways, I kind of went totally off track, but I want to talk about the Freedom Conference and XRP
Yeah.
Las Vegas. Like you did such a great job up there presenting. I'd love to talk about XRP Unleashed, which is pretty cool. So, how did you feel about the Freedom Conference? And Brad Kimes crushed it at XRP Las Vegas.
Yeah, it was, my camera every once in a while crashes on me, Coach. I'm going to reboot it while I'm speaking here. But the conferences this time of the year, April, is my favorite time of the year because of the fact that we have the Freedom Conference, which we do here at the 3T Academy. And I absolutely love it because two reasons. One, I get to meet the warriors, who watch us and listen to us every day. So it's really, really cool to actually get to see the people. And the most rewarding part for me is when people come up to us and say, "Oh my God, Johnny, oh my God, Abs, oh my God, Coach, you guys have changed my life. You've really helped me. You've helped me think about things differently." And so I know, Coach, we are the light out there in the darkness.
Yes.
And I know that may sound cheesy to some people, but to me, it makes me feel good to know that we're helping people who literally have said to me, Coach, at your account, at our event and at the other event, that they're like, "Johnny, if it wasn't for you guys, I would have been out of this space. I would have been gone. I would have thought it was a scam. I wouldn't have known how to manage it. I wouldn't have known how to think about it." So for me, it's so rewarding for that reason alone, because I know I'm putting good karma out in the world. I know we as a community, the 3T community, we're helping people. We're changing lives. The Merlin team is helping people. We're changing lives. And I hear it from you guys every day. Plus, being on stage and being able to present, I love that. I love being in front of people. I love being able to help show them, new things or new ways to think about things. So to be able to explain to them, if they came to the conference, they would have seen one of the things we taught in addition to your 5 Ps is the whole thing of how the markets are rigged, how the markets work, and why it's important to have an exit strategy. I love being able to share that with people. And after that, a lot of people came up to me and said, "Oh my God, I didn't realize that our brains have been examined and that there's a whole cheat sheet out there on how it works." And so for me, it's very, very rewarding. That was awesome. I love that. So I'm glad that you do that every year. For me, that was awesome. And to see all the excitement. And then at Brad's event a week later, which is nice, they're a week apart. Well, my favorite part was the fact that they were a week apart and I got to spend a week with you guys in Arizona. That was awesome. That was my favorite part as well. But then going to Vegas and switching gears and being at Brad's event, Brad did a fantastic job.
Wonderful.
Talk about leveling up. We were at the first one last year and it was night and day. This was a whole new level. And it was so great to meet even more warriors, also meet more influencers, be able to shake hands. I like to say shaking hands, kissing babies. We were doing it all. It was fun to meet everybody. But the event was great speakers, a lot of good learning and knowledge. Boy, what a wonderful thing just the whole XR community is doing, Coach, what you're doing, what Brad is doing, as we're all coming together and what we're trying to do to innovate in this space. To me, we are really, really improving lives and changing the game.
Yeah, I love it, man. It was the same thing. It was just like, it's great bringing people together, and that we're, I'm meeting with our COO, CFO, and me, the CEO, in July, and then we're going to present to you guys what we're really working to do is future-proof our business. And I follow the BlackRock narrative at a deep level. I study this stuff nonstop, and they're talking heavily about AI technology and experiences. Actually, they're seeing a shift in human consumer behaviors. That's why Merlin is such a great product. People are moving from product-based to the experience. Like, what is Merlin's experience? How does it make you feel, right? And so what we are working to do, let's end this conversation around talking about futures of our companies. I'll talk about Merlin, is with the 3T Warrior Academy, what we're working to do is to create richer and deeper experiences. And so not only in the quantum space, connecting on Zoom calls, but we're the future is we're going to build a retreat center, which is super exciting. We have our Revive retreat that's going to be released to the public in 2 weeks. So if you don't know, that sells out very quickly. The Revive retreat is an unbelievable retreat where we go completely off grid, 30,000 square foot cabin. We can bring about 60 people there. It's all solar. It's all completely off the grid. You're out in the middle of nowhere in this beautiful cabin. It's amazing. And it's completely opposite of this. It is grounding. It is connecting to true wealth and source, being around like-minded warriors. You guys will see that launching very, very soon. But I'm also thinking a lot about we're actually going to be reducing the price of our conferences for our future Freedom Conference because, well, I'll just be transparent with guys. When we built our own conference center because what Brad Gimes put on was phenomenal. And if people don't understand, I want to send a little shot to the haters out there that we're talking about the ticket price for that thing. Do you guys realize? I guarantee you he lost money on that. Guarantee you that is so all the haters out there, you need to understand business. You need to understand how expensive these conferences are. We did something at a quarter of the size that he did at a Sheraton. I think it was Sheraton, wasn't our hotel?
Sheraton.
We lost 75,000. It was packed, and we lost 75 grand on that conference. What he put together, that had to be 400 grand. For somewhere around there. I mean, and people don't understand the ticket price was totally fairly priced for the service, for the speakers, for the connections. I mean, just in that room, if you're in that room, I mean, just the business deals that were going down were unbelievable, right? So any of those haters out there, you need to really understand business and understand. So I'm giving Brad a big shout out there. So we actually built our own conference center because of that type of cost, right? And so now we had a huge cost up front, but we got our center built. So what we're working to do is to reduce the cost of our conferences so that more people can be there, so we can share richer experiences in person. And so that's the future of our company, retreat centers, so that we can bring people together, like-minded individuals, and expand consciousness together. That's the whole point of all this. And so what's the future of Merlin, man? So where do you feel this is going, and where do you see this in the next couple of years?
So, I mean, we have a great roadmap ahead. We are looking at building on additional tiers, Coach. So one of these days, Coach, as Merlin grows,
we will, man.
Hopefully we get a bigger lake house and we can invite some warriors.
I keep picturing that one we're driving by when Raven was like, "How much is that lake house?" That one up on the hill, man. That's ours.
That's a beauty. Oh my God! If we had something like that, Coach, we could invite all the warrior maniacs and all the Merlin maniacs to that one. That's massive. That house on the lake. But we're excited because we have a great roadmap ahead. We have a lot more things coming that customers have requested, and we now just brought on. I'm excited to say this week, Coach, Merlin just grew up. You know, like when you're born, you're a baby, and then you start to crawl, and then you walk, and then you run. Well, we just brought on another developer full time now. Yes. So I'm very, very excited. We are growing. We're going through the growing pains, but now that we have that, we can move faster and innovate quicker. And so we have a roadmap in which we want to add a bunch of different tiers to bring things in that people have been asking us for. So we will continue to innovate and launch those different types of improvements over time. We also welcome feedback from any of our customers. So we listen to you guys. We build that in wherever we can because the product is for you. And we want to make it for you guys, and we want to make it better for you. So if there's something you wish Merlin could do, please tell us. I know already. Yes, UK. Yes, Australians. I hear you. You want Merlin. We are working. It is on our roadmap, Coach. One of the things we want to do is you ask about where we're going. I know we only got a couple minutes, so I'll make it fast. We want to expand globally. We want to start to get out. We know Australia and the UK have been hammering us and wanting Merlin so bad. So those are two countries that we want to work on being able to open it up to. Hopefully, I don't have a time frame, so I'm not going to put it out, but it is on the roadmap. We are aware, you guys, and we do want to try and get that, hopefully maybe by the end of this year or early next year. So it is on the plan to do that. So that's another thing we're trying to do to be able to grow it. So again, we're excited and all because of where we're moving. And there's just, I tell everybody this, Coach, this is Merlin 1.0.
Yes.
It's the worst version of Merlin you're ever going to see. Right. And it's pretty damn good, but it's 1.0. As like anything, you iterate technology, it's only going to get better and better and better. So if you like Merlin today, for everybody who's using it, just wait a year from now what Merlin's going to look like, Coach. It's going to be massive. I know there was one question that somebody asked, Coach, and I would like to get out there. Was Merlin, how much Merlin is per month per year? Guys, so basically it costs us money to run Merlin, right? It costs money to run software. Now, there's two ways you get use of software. You either get it for free or you pay for it. If you get it for free, you're not getting it for free, folks. What's happening is your data is being used and it's sold. And it's spread out all over the place. Now, I ask you, Coach, how many people would want us at Merlin to be able to move around and share their crypto data?
Nobody.
So that's why Merlin, people say, Johnny, why is it Merlin for free? Because if it's for free, then we've got to sell data to be able to stay in to keep the software running, to keep the engineers paid, right? We don't want to sell your data. We will never sell your data. Merlin will keep your data private. always, but there's a cost for that, right?
Yep.
And that means we have to charge. And so we have a monthly cost of $18.88, or if you do the annual price plan, it's a one-time price of $200. That's an average of $16.99. When you look at the other trackers out there, it's kind of within. We're slightly higher priced because we offer more value because of the exit strategy, right? But for the price of keeping your data private, and for the peace of mind of knowing you're going to get those alerts, $18 a month to be able to put money in your pocket and keep it private. We've been told by most people, like, Johnny, you should be charging a lot more. I'm like, nope, that's good. We're happy.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting you say that. You know, it's like, you know, we don't fire back at haters, but a lot of people are like, oh, you can do this. You think people are taking their personal money, building these things and doing it for free. There's nothing for free, guys. Like your data. Well, I did a video this morning. Data is the #1 thing companies are looking for right now. BlackRock said it themselves. It's data that is going to make companies large. So in order for companies to protect your data, there has to be a charge, right? And so when a company is charging a monthly fee, usually they're protecting your data, which is a good thing, right? If there's a paywall, things like that. Usually when there's a paywall, the data is protected. Like in our academy, there's a paywall because you're coming into Mighty Networks, which is not on social. So you can be open, you can communicate, you can do all these things. It's not on Facebook and things like that. So, and that's an important point as well, you know, just to understand, like, yeah, I'm happy. I love it. Thank you. And we just want to say thank you for your support. Really, really appreciate it. It's fun to get together, man. We should do this more often. Almost 1,400 people on here. This is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, we definitely need to do this more.
Yeah.
I know we're both busy, Coach, but I guess what?
Yeah.
If the Warriors want us, we'll do this again.
Yeah, I see the future of our whole channel. I mean, I really, as we go into 2020, I'm not putting any more pressure on the team. The team is like, no more projects this year.
We got enough, Coach. No more.
Well, yeah, 2025, I see Good Morning Crypto show really advancing to the next level. You know, I'll be, you know, bringing on a live show. We're going to be doing more production style stuff next year. We built a studio in Arizona, which is awesome, which is our media team is just remarkable. They built a conference center. They built a media center. We're going to be going into more production style, building like a podcast studio, things like that. So we can bring some Warrior Maniacs out to interview them. We're definitely going into that. You know, you see the kind of the trend, you know, the Patrick Bet-Davis, the Brad Lees, things like that. You know, ironically, we have an insurance company now, is that we're heading into more of the, what's it called? Like a media company, right? Media and helping inform people. And, you know, we're the new democratized media, which is awesome. And it's just so much fun. It was so great to meet you guys. And thank you for coming up and saying all the kind words. And it was just great to meet people. I even met a guy that was, it was interesting, that said, he walked up and he's like, dude, online, I fucking hate you, man. And he's like, and I finally met you. And he's like, you really are who you like. You're really this guy. And I'm like, dude, I'm the same online, offline. It's like, and I'm like, you know, so that I think if we all got together, we'd all realize we're more alike than we are apart, man. Like, you know, it's just a beautiful thing to get together with the community. So if you guys can ever make it to those types of events, please do. So one of the things we have coming up, so if you want to meet the Good Morning Crypto show in a totally different environment, the Revive Retreat will change your life, guys. I'm telling you, it might sell out. It might not get to the public because we have our XRLT holders that'll probably snag it up, and then it goes to our academy, then it goes to the public. But if you do get a chance to go, I'm telling you, you do not want to miss this event. It will change your life. So we love you guys so much. We appreciate you, Johnny. You're my best friend. I love you so much. And let's make it a great rest of the day. As we always say, Warriors, rise, get your shit together. Remember, Merlin, 30 days for free down below. You know, I'll give you a little bit of time right now. Click down below, guys. 30 days for free. It'll be right there in the description. Again, if you don't like it, you can just cancel right there. We also have phone customer service, online customer service. So if you're like, what the hell is an exit plan? We got your back. We got videos, people to support you. We will not leave you hanging. We got your back. We'll help you set up an exit plan. So Merlin, 30 days for free. And we got 7 months, guys. Get ready. Warriors, rise. Love you guys.